Welcome to the Overwhelm Edit, the podcast for professional women just like you who are ready to rewrite their story and reclaim feeling capable at work and present at home again. I'm Dr. SaraLou, a GP and life coach who specializes in women's burnout and overwhelm, and I'm here to guide you with the practical tools, inspiring stories, and strategies that mix the science and the soul to get you out of survival mode. And so, my lovely, are you ready to edit overwhelm out of your life once and for all? Let's do this. Hello, my lovely, and welcome to this episode. This episode is going to be all about boundaries. Boundaries have come up a few times, haven't they, in the past episodes? And I feel like I've wanted to hold it back so could do it justice in its own episode, because I know how hard it can feel to set boundaries. I know how unfamiliar and uncomfortable it can feel to set boundaries. And so I wanted to do it justice. I wanted to give it its own episode because I think boundaries are such an important tool to giving you the space to grow, the freedom to do what you need to do, and also to help people know what's happening, the change in routine, the expectations being different. Boundaries don't need to be so scary. And so let's first of all think about what a boundary is. So I like this analogy, and bear with me as I go through it. What we're doing at the minute, you showing up, listening to this podcast, investing this time in yourself, is growth. This is new personal growth. And imagine this is like a new sapling we just planted in the ground, and we need to give this sapling all the nutrients and energy and sunlight and all the right environment for it to grow. And that is where boundaries come in. So by pouring in the sustainers, by being mindful of the drainers and moderating those, working with the narrative and that inner world within you and the inner critic, practicing self-compassion, these are the nutrients. These are the tools and resources that you need to grow, and what amazing, beautiful growth it's going to be. However, if we don't put a boundary around you and around parts of this growth, it feels vulnerable. It feels like it's insecure. It feels like it's going to be difficult to manage it as life moves on. And remember, as this sapling grows and it becomes a big, beautiful tree bearing fruit, flowers, stunning, this is you. And that boundary maybe has changed. Maybe it's not needed as much anymore. Maybe it's in a totally different place because the growth has had the protection, and boy, has it grown. It is strong, it is resilient, it is capable, it is beautiful, it is joyful. And so boundaries aren't something that we need to fear. Boundaries aren't something that is keeping people away from us. It's not saying you're over there and I'm over here. This boundary, I like to imagine it as a bit of, let's think, a white picket fence. It's beautiful. You can see through it. It's just marking the lay of the land for everyone involved, for you and for other people. And so when we think about boundaries, maybe before it's felt like it's going to be a big concrete wall with barbed wire on top of it. It's keeping people out, it's keeping people away. That's going to be a different kind of boundary if that is needed. This sort of boundary, the boundary is going to give you the time, going to give you the capacity to put in things of self-care and practicing self-worth. This boundary is about managing your time, managing your resources, and letting people know the expectations. This is about teaching them what you're doing in your life and maybe what you need from them, or maybe what you don't need from them anymore, maybe what you'll accept or not accept. And so when you view boundaries in this way, I wonder, do you start to get that sense that, oh, I'd quite like to start setting some boundaries. I'd like to start practicing having some boundaries. Let's remember that affirmation: if things feel difficult, if the challenge is there, I'm learning to set some boundaries. And so when you see boundaries in this way, they start to feel more accessible. You don't need to be afraid of them. And so when you are setting a boundary, you need to think about exactly what it's there for. So there is rarely a one-size-fits-all kind of boundary. Maybe there's a particular event or circumstance or day or an activity in the week that you need something to happen to make that work for you. And maybe at the minute, that particular event or part of the day is actually bringing up some really difficult emotions, because maybe, let's go for example, this is something that you need to give you some time so you can go and practice some self-care, which could be maybe some exercise, maybe it's some time with a friend. And at the minute you do not feel like you're getting that, and I know what comes up when you feel that you're not getting something that you need. It's the overwhelm. The overwhelm bubbles up, and it comes out in ways of either withdrawal, or it's going to come up in ways of anger, frustration, resentment. It comes up in ways that don't feel very good for you, and it doesn't feel very good for the other person either. And so how about instead identifying that there is something that is going to need a boundary? It's going to need something marking down that this is going to happen. This event has been bringing up these feelings. Let's start there. Start by expressing how something is for you. And the best way to do this is to think about it in advance and know what you're going to say. Because we all know what happens when you're feeling triggered and overwhelmed. Things don't come out exactly how you meant them to. Things don't come out in a way that feel cohesive or coherent even at times. So planning this in advance can be so incredible at helping the boundary work. So think about the event in the first instance. Think about what you need. Think about what's important to you. Let's say we're going to have some time on a certain day to do some exercise. Highly likely you're going to need to put a boundary down with someone to make that happen, whether that's work, whether that's a partner, whether that's a family member involving some childcare. Something's going to need to happen, because we know what happens when it slips. So you want this thing to happen. We sometimes hope people are mind readers. We hope they're going to give us exactly what we need without us asking for it, because we don't know how to ask for it. And it spirals and becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy of difficulty. And so what we're going to do is teach people this is a need. So I feel this way about it. I'm feeling like I really need to do some self-care. I need to do some exercise, because if I don't have it, I'm feeling really overwhelmed. That is your feeling. Brilliant. What is your need? This is where we start to really flesh out the boundary. I need you to X. I need you to have the kids for me so I can go for my run. I need to leave work on time today because I need to go and do this. Be specific what you need them to do. I need you to be here at X time. I need you to give me 20 minutes out. I need you to send me that email and I will pick it up tomorrow. You've been so specific about what you need, and you're inviting them into having this, quite frankly, very adult conversation about what you need. There's no emotion in that conversation. There's no difficulty at that point. You've preempted this, you've planned, you've said it before the event needs to happen. And so this is what a boundary starts to look like. This is you saying what I need and what I hope that you can do for me. And now here is the key thing about asking for what you need and setting a boundary around it is likelihood someone is going to be inconvenienced by this. Now, that's where we start to fall down on our boundaries, isn't it? We don't want to inconvenience people. We are so used to being there for others and making life easier for them or doing everything for them. So the idea of being an inconvenience doesn't feel very good. But remember, this is someone that maybe you are in an intimate relationship with, or a friend or a family member. They love you. They want to be inconvenienced for you. They want to help you, number one. Or number two, if this is a work environment, this is about setting down a solid boundary, saying, this is what I expect. This is what I will do. I will pick that up tomorrow. Lay out the expectations. This is where the line is drawn in the sand. Otherwise, what happens in these instances is the creep. Things creep in that we don't want. Work creeps in, pressure creeps in, maybe resentment creeps in because you're not getting the time that you need, frustration creeps in, feeling under resource creeps in, and the spiral likes to just kick off at this moment. It's ready to go, isn't it? And so if your boundary is involving someone that you love and who loves you, yes, they are going to be inconvenienced by this. Potentially not. Sometimes we're so used to looking after other people and paving the way for them that we forget that they're happy to do this for us as well. How amazing is that? You're in this relationship with this person, for example, and they want to help you. Let's let them help you. So it's okay to be, inverted commas, an inconvenience. And so when you feel the friction of setting this boundary, stating what you need, feeling like an inconvenience, you might even feel you want to pull back at the last minute and say, it's okay. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. It's fine. I'll be there. You do whatever you need to do. But I invite you to feel that friction. I invite you to feel that discomfort within your body. And when they say, okay, I'm going to do it, say thank you. And off you go. Put on your shoes. Go out for that run. Meet your friend for a coffee. Do whatever it is you need to do. Or finish work on time. If we're talking about a work boundary here, finish work on time and be really grateful that you have stood up for yourself. You have advocated for yourself. You have used your voice. Okay, now that's if everything goes smoothly. Now, not every time you do this is it going to go smoothly. If only. But you know, we're dealing with other human beings here, and they're not perfect either. We talked a lot about our perfect imperfection at times, haven't we? And so it's okay for someone to have feelings, and it's okay for someone to maybe even voice them. What's not okay is that when we accidentally take them on board as our difficulty or our problem. So maybe you're feeling, oh, I've done my boundary, I've asked for my need, I really do feel like an inconvenience, and now they've said, well, actually, oh, something less than positive. Your reaction is probably, highly likely, immediately going to be, no, it's okay. I don't need it. I'm going to pull back. I don't need it. Don't do that. Acknowledge their emotion. Say, for example, maybe someone's come round, a family member to look after the kids. Oh, it's hard because they miss you when they leave the house, for example. Say, yeah, they do, but they also love to see you. And thank you for coming round. I really appreciate it. You've given back their emotion. You've validated their experience. They still want to help you. They just need it to voice what they need it to voice. This is part of advocating for yourself. It's not taking on other people's emotions and wearing them as your own. It's not taking on other people's emotions and, feeling like you've got to pave the way for them. It's allowing someone that's in your life to be inconvenienced for you. It feels like an alien concept, doesn't it? It feels strange. I wonder, is there something coming to mind? You think, oh, I really want to do that. I really want to give this a test. What is it? What would you do? Have a think about it. Plan for it in advance. Think about what it is that you need and what specifically do you need them to do to help you. This is what a boundary looks like. Of course, there are moments where things aren't going to go to plan. Things get derailed. The boundary sometimes we need to have is with ourselves. So if something has needed to move, for example, someone's been unwell, maybe your partner's got home late from work and they're not able to be there when you really needed them, so you could go and do this thing because they're going to have the kids. Sometimes that boundary has to be, okay, I cannot do it now. This has happened, because we want this to be fit for purpose. We want this to have flex in the system. We want this to be able to create some transformation in your life that's actually sustainable. So that boundary has to be about you, about, okay, I can't do this now. When can I do it instead? And I want you to start searching for the opportunities that you can earmark these moments where you're going to be able to access this time or this need. Maybe it's going to look slightly differently. Maybe it'll be the same, but that boundary is you're holding it for yourself as well. You're holding yourself to account. You're holding yourself, saying, I need this. I need to show up for myself. I'm going to do it. I wonder what you could do with this. What boundary can you put in place in the next few days, the next week or so, to actually get you this time, this space to do what you need to do? Who is it that you need to ask? Who is it that you need to inconvenience? And how are you going to manage that? How are you going to express your need, your feelings in a way that actually is communicating really clearly and really reasonably? This is reasonable. And a really good way to think about boundaries is if we're thinking, oh gosh, this is hard to ask someone to do something for me. Well, yes, we've talked about it's good for people to be inconvenienced for us because they want to help us, they love us. But maybe this is something that actually you could incorporate into the relationship, into the dynamic. Maybe this is something that you can do for them as well. Just some food for thought. And so, my lovely, I wonder if you're thinking about times where boundaries feel really hard to hold. Maybe where there is conflict. That really is a different conversation to have at a later date. How to navigate when boundaries are being met in a conflict situation, because there is a way to have that conflict resolve itself in a way that hopefully both parties should feel listened to, heard, seen and valued. But for now, this idea of the boundary, of the white picket fence around the young sapling, protecting that growth, letting you grow and flourish, to thrive and to really push forward with the resources that you need. I would love it if you could drop me a line, send me an email. If there's something you're going to do, a new habit or a new act of self-care or a new time that you've carved out for yourself, take a picture. If you're on socials, tag me in it. I would love to celebrate. I'd love to cheer you on. I'd love to be in this journey with you. And so for now, my lovely, let yourself just dream for a moment. Let yourself just think. Choose one thing, one area. Maybe this links with a habit that you've already created from an earlier episode. Think about what you need to do to make that happen. Bye-bye, my lovely. Thank you so much for listening to the Overwhelm Edit. If you have enjoyed this episode, I'd be so grateful if you could take a moment to follow the podcast, leave a review, or share it with a friend who you think might need it too. Your support helps this message reach more incredible women just like you. And don't forget to connect with me over on Instagram. I'm at Dr. SaraLou Wiley. Find me there for more tips, tools, and conversations about beating burnout and reclaiming your life. Until next time, take care of you. You deserve it.